What's good, everybody? It's your boy Todd Smith here, yet once again, joined alongside by my tag team partner Dale Clifford out there in Fernley, Nevada, with yet another episode of the No Gimmicks podcast. Right now, we're going to discuss TNA Wrestling Impact. So, let's start off here by what I must say, in my opinion, is one of the most ridiculous things going on in all of professional wrestling. Not to say that this has not been done before. There have been guys who have actually held more titles than 3 at a time. Ultimo Dragon and Keiji Muto, for example, over New Japan. Those guys actually held like almost every title that the company had to offer. Sometimes holding as many as maybe about 9 titles at a time. Bobby Lashley is now the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, the TNA X Division Champion, and the TNA King of the Mountain Champion. Dale, what in the hell is going on here? Please explain.
I don't even know if I can explain. I absolutely do not get it.
Just try. I'll give you credit for trying.
However, going into this, though, is like you say that Bobby Lashley has the 3 championships. Had he lost his match to James Storm would have had the 3 championship belts. Even for him to own all 3, to me, doesn't make any sense.
No.
So that's the thing. Now we seem to be on the course of path to Bound for Glory, where Lashley owns all 3 championships. And I think over the course of the build to October 2nd, I'm hoping that he's going to drop the King of the Mountain and the X Division championships. By the time Bound for Glory comes around, I don't think he's going to host all 3, because really, Bobby Lashley ain't wrestling 3 matches at Bound for Glory.
I have a crazy thought going across my head, and follow me on this one, Dale, and let me know if this is anywhere, near what could possibly take place. Is it possible that with the TNA roster being as thin as it is currently, even with the recent addition of someone like Damian Sandow, aka Aaron Retz, correct myself, having another Michael Cole moment, to the Impact roster, are they possibly going to look at maybe unifying all 3 of those titles and doing like a TNA undisputed title where they will merge the X Division title, the TNA heavyweight title, and the King of the Mountain title, all 3 of them together, and have like some sort of like a unified title? Does that make any sense?
It makes a little sense. I don't like them getting rid of the X Division championship, but I definitely feel like the King of the Mountain championship can go away.
Yeah. Or at least to merge those 2, as you just said. That would make more sense, because that King of the Mountain title has not had any identity over the course of its existence. I can go all the way back to when that title, I want to say, has been the global title. It has been the Legends title. It has been the television title. Now it's the King of the Mountain title. I might even be missing a rendition of what that belt once represented. So that belt has no identity. It would actually make sense for them to merge that with the world title. But yeah, I think it would be a huge mistake if they got rid of that division title. I was just throwing that out there because, like I said, the Impact roster is very thin, and it may actually make sense for them to get rid of a title and only have the world title and possibly the X Division and then the tag titles, or just have one world title and one tag team title until they can add some depth.
You might be right. They might decide to unify that, and that would make sense as to why you have Lashley with all 3. Because right now I don't really get it. And obviously he doesn't fit in the X Division category. Why would you have the King of the Mountain title and the world title on the same person? The King of the Mountain is supposed to be the underneath title that you use to get to the world title. Kind of same with the X Division when we come around Destination X, but it just don't make no sense to have one person have all 3. I get it, because that's what all these stipulation matches were for. But now that the stipulation matches have come, there are no more champions to put titles on the line, unless you're going to make Bobby Lashley be the tag team champions all by himself. I don't think that's going to happen anyway, because we're set up, I think, for something with the Hardy Brothers and Decay.
Oh, Christ.
So I think that's where we're going with that one.
Let me get a few thoughts out here real quick, and then we're going to get to the match itself. The only guy who I can remember recent memory to hold the World Tag Team titles by himself was Stone Cold Steve Austin. And that was back in like the late 90s when he was kind of in his prime. He held the World Tag Team titles in WWF, not WWE by himself.
Okay.
I really hope they don't walk down that path with Bobby Lashley. No, he didn't even choose a tag team partner, if I recall correctly. Steve Austin literally held those belts by himself. The other thing is, the match itself, hell of a match between these two. Knockdown, drag out of a match. I love the finish. How James Storm hit him with not only one last call super kick, but a second last call super kick for him to bounce off the ropes. And then that gives Lashley enough momentum to come back and absolutely drill him with that spear that he hit him with to finish him off. What was your thoughts on that, Dale?
Yeah, pretty solid match. Definitely another good effort out of Lashley in his retaining and gaining championship matches over the course of the last 2 months. Obviously, his match with Eddie Edwards last month made our countdown of the top 10 matches of July. And I'm pretty sure that Lashley and James Storm from last week's titles versus title match is in contention to make our top 10 matches of the month of August.
Yes.
So
yes,
I definitely
without
think
question,
we
man.
will be revisiting this match in a couple weeks when we look back at everything that shook itself out in August. So definitely very solid match, and just really trying to figure out exactly where Impact is going with its title picture, which maybe could be shaking itself out. I think one other note that we have to touch on from Impact Wrestling that we kind of missed a little bit is there's a new president of the company. And his name is
there is
Billy Corgan.
Billy Corgan.
As Dixie,
that Billy
Carter
Corgan
just slides over to just a chairman position. Billy Corgan is now the president of TNA Wrestling. I think this is an absolutely huge move. Definitely tells you that the money situation financially for Dixie Carter and her family not well. I think Corgan now is putting in a ton of money to try to keep Impact afloat.
Yep.
So he's now the president of the company.
Them Smashing Pumpkin albums were good for something, right?
Apparently so. To put money into professional wrestling now.
Hey, who would have ever thunk it, right? So at the conclusion of the match, we got quite a bit of a stare down between Lashley and the newest member of the Impact roster. Welcome to Impact, formerly known as Damien Sandow, now going by the name of Aaron Retz. So Aaron Retz came out and basically said this time he's going to do things his way and cut quite the promo, talking quite a bit of smack about his former employer and why he's so happy to be a part of TNA now. Dale, what do you have to say about this, man?
Genius promo? Can I say that? Oh, wait, no. He's not a genius. He doesn't even take an IQ test. That was just a gimmick.
Yes. I love it, man. I love it. Great stuff out of him.
I definitely, absolutely loved the promo. He hit the nail on the head as what we have pointed out in weeks past. All of the guys that were lower tier, appears to be wasted talent by WWE that are now shining stars on Impact Wrestling. You got Ethan Carter III, Drew Galloway.
Yes.
Jeff Hardy. You mentioned Jeff Hardy, but Hardy was kind of a throwaway. He really did succeed in WWE. I think had some more personal issues.
Yeah, he threw away his own career. Yeah,
I think he had some personal issues that got him out of WWE, but he's still a shining star in Impact Wrestling. I think Matt Hardy's more of a better example of which Hardy kind of was tossed aside by WWE than Jeff.
Yes.
Just count the names of the Impact Wrestling guys that were former WWE kind of misused talent.
For a guy who supposedly caught the butterflies before he a case of the butterflies before he went out there and gave that promo, he just absolutely owned it that night. The only thing, and this is just my take, I want to get yours on this as well, Dale. I don't know about the name itself, Aaron Retz, because his real name, if I recall correctly, is Aaron Haddad. This is something I'm not sure that a lot of folks are aware of. Damien Sandow, a.k.a. Aaron Retz, and his real name is Aaron Haddad. He is actually of Lebanese descent. I'm not sure if a lot of folks were aware of that or not. He is using kind of like a shortened version of his real name and then the last name Retz. I'm not exactly what that's a play of at all, but I'm not sure if I'm too big of a fan of the name itself. But everything else about this, about his debut on Impact, just came across very, very well. What's your thoughts, Dale?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Rex part of the name. Obviously, Aaron makes sense. He had a long run on the indie circuit as Aaron Stevens, so...
Yes, Aaron the Idol Stevens, which I'm quite sure WWE probably found some way to own, and that's probably why he can't use it.
So, obviously, Aaron makes sense for him to keep using that. Not a huge fan of the Rex, but definitely 100% happy to see the guy formerly known as Damien Sandow back on television again.
Yes, without question. Welcome to Impact, Damien, a.k.a. Aaron Retz. I think this is going to be a very good move for him. You know, like I said, sometimes it's a blessing in disguise, you know, moving on from the WWE. And who knows? You know, at some point, they might possibly realize, you know, like they say, sometimes you don't realize what you got till it's gone. Maybe they'll invite him back at some point in time, and this time, you know, around, it'll go better for him. Moving on to our next topic here. So, we had Mike Bennett, the Miracle Mike Bennett, and Moose going up against Ethan Carter III and Eddie Edwards. Mike Bennett and Moose won this match, but it appeared to be kind of a perplexed look on the face of Moose at the end of this. Was he not sure that Mike Bennett found a way to sneak in the tag and get in there and steal the pinfall away from him, Dale?
You know what? I know it was a little bit of reaction that I've seen coming from some of the Impact viewers online is Moose is supposed to be a heel along with Mike Bennett, but he still uses his Moose ROH face arm pump chant, and I think we're kind of seeing the first steps of this relationship between the Miracle and Moose not lasting very long.
Yeah.
Moving in the direction of being that fan favorite again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm telling you, I think, Moose is just one of those guys. He's built to be a face. He's this huge guy, you know, he's supposed to be, you know, like kind of like an intimidating figure and whatnot, and somebody who you're supposed to be afraid of. But I don't know. Whenever I look at that guy, like I said, I just don't get intimidated. I just see a big teddy bear really out there. And that's what I see. It's kind of along the same lines as, like I said, with the Fitzer, Tyrus, of all personal feelings aside, you know, the fact that he used the name Hired Gun and all that. The guy just doesn't intimidate me, as huge as he is. I really truly believe that Moose needs to be a face in order to succeed over there on the Impact roster. You know, Mike Bennett pulling the sly, you know, heel tactic, like I said, getting in there and stealing the victory away from EC3 and Eddie Edwards. Poor Eddie Edwards finding a way to get lost in the shuffle. Yet once again, it's looking like, Dale.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know where Davey Richards has disappeared to again. He showed up a couple weeks ago when Eddie was getting ready for his match with Lashley for the world title, and then has since disappeared again, and now Eddie Edwards is teaming with Ethan Carter III, who doesn't even need a tag team partner because he's got his own issues coming up with Lashley and Drew Galloway. So I think this was a whole ball of I don't know. It's like Impact's doing some good things, but they're doing some weird things.
Yes.
And then some mismanaged booking too right now, and I think they're just trying to work some pieces out because we still got a long way to go for Bound for Glory, which I think everything will work itself out.
Yeah.
But all on the lines of the craziest of crazy is the broken Matt Hardy saga in Impact Wrestling.
These two guys have both lost their damn minds, okay? Now, you want to talk about going over the top, literally. So, Jeff, when Stone Cold Steve Austin, since we seem to be bringing his name up, or at least I am here, with the multiple twist of fates on the members of the tribunal, then if it wasn't enough, he puts Al Snow through a table, and then he puts himself through a table, and then he bursts out with just the absolute craziest maniacal laughter as him and Matt kind of finally seem to find some sort of a common ground here. He's finally accepted the fact that he is Brother Nero. So I guess, we're going to get like kind of a Hardy Boys reunion, except for it's going to be a more psychotic version of the Hardy Boys. Is that where they're going with this, you're thinking?
I have no idea. It's like we have broken Matt Hardy and broken Brother Nero. They're now a formed, cohesive tag team, I suppose.
I guess. And if that's not enough crazy for you, we have the top crazies of the asylum. the Decay. So the Decay, we've been seeing this whole storyline here where Rosemary has been kind of courting Bram, and it all turned out to be a setup. She said that he was on a stairway to hell. They cut this promo, and I'm not sure if you noticed this or not, but TNA Impact had to have been live because I heard a bunch of talking going on in the background, the backstage. They're supposed to be, like this dark, desolate area. They could not have made it any more obvious that segment was shot backstage in front of like a steel fence there or whatever that was. But yeah, they got the number one contenders match for the Stairway to Hell. It's going to be the Bromans. It's going to be the Hardys. Who else? The Tribunal.
And then the Helms Dynasty.
And then who's the other
Helms
tag
Dynasty.
team? And then the Helms Dynasty, which is Trevor Lee and also Andrew Everett, correct? Now, yeah, like I said, it's funny because there's no Wolves. The Wolves are not mentioned in that match at all. Where has Davey Richards been, I'm wondering?
Yep. No.
He made that quick return, during the whole, run with Eddie Edwards when he got the shot against Bobby Lashley, and then he just kind of disappeared once again.
Yeah, no idea. It is going to be interesting because I also know the Impact labeled this ladder match as more than just a ladder match. This Ascension to Hell was going to be more than just your ordinary ladder match. So that will be definitely interesting to see. And obviously looking at the 4 teams involved and kind of just where the storylines are going, how can the Hardys not win this thing?
Yeah, I'm going to this is my prediction, the whole Stairway to Hell. Are we going to possibly see almost kind of like fire surrounding the ring, kind of like how they used to do with those matches with Kane and Undertaker back in the day? I can't quite remember the name for them. They had a specific name where the ropes would be lit on fire or something crazy like that.
The Inferno matches?
Yes, thank you. During the Attitude Era, are we going to see something crazy like that possibly with this Stairway to Hell?
Interesting. Could very well be. That'd be a nice little touch. It's been a long time since we've seen that. That'd be a good stipulation match. Bring a little bit extra craziness to what has already surrounded some very weird storylines, including the Decay and Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero.
I don't know about you.
And obviously, it's all the countdown to Bound for Glory. Ethan Carter III won the Bound for Glory playoff, but Drew Galloway is not settled on Ethan Carter III being the number one contender.
No, he
wants a match with Ethan Carter. So definitely be interesting to see if that match even happens. I still feel like we're going to get EC3 versus Lashley for the World Championship come Bound for Glory. And then obviously
more than likely.
And then one other thing that happened was Gail Kim defeated Marty Bell in an ODQ match. And then Maria announced that Gail Kim is going to end up facing Jade on tonight's Impact Wrestling.
That's intriguing to me, that match there, because Gail and Jade, both of Korean descent, both kind of similar, like movesets and whatnot. I love the fact that Jade uses that package power driver that they won't allow Kevin Owens to use over there on Raw. I just cannot believe that they will not allow that dude to use that move yet. They allow Jay to use it on Impact. I just find that a bit ironic. I actually would like to see her go over Gail Kim using that move, to be perfectly honest with you. In regards to Drew Galloway, I've been saying it for a while now. I think he's going to be turning heel here pretty soon. So yeah, I think we will get EC3 versus Lashley, but I think once EC3 and Galloway do get to face off against one another, once again, it's going to be Drew Galloway as a heel versus a face of EC3. But yes, quite a lot there that we covered in our Impact discussion for this week. Still ways away from Bound for Glory. Bound for Glory is going to be October 2nd, actually airing from the Impact Zone down there in Orlando, Florida this year. As always, Dale and I, this is what we do. We always love to talk about wrestling for you, our listeners, of the No Gimmicks podcast. So please continue to visit our YouTube page, subscribe to us. Also, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at the No Gimmicks PC. Also, check out my LinkedIn page, my personal LinkedIn account, to check out the links that I would like to share with you and all of the wrestling fans out there. So, for my tag team partner, Dale Clifford, out there in Burlington, Nevada, this is Todd Smith out of University of Connecticut, saying until next time around, y'all take care.